Sagittarius, this is Regina, Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your full moon reading in Cancer. The full moon in Cancer is on the 26th, Boxing Day in some places, and the day after Christmas. I have laid out the axis of the horoscope wheel with a combination of the Tarot of the Divine and the African Tarot. I'll clarify with the good tarot and use 3 oracle decks in different ways throughout the reading. I appreciate you being here. Your presence is what's important, and I appreciate all the ways that you support me in being able to do what I do for you. So let's get started, Sagittarius, with this overall energy, the Empress. This is a beautiful card of abundance, of not only generating abundance, being creative, endlessly creative, new ideas, effortlessly being able to manifest and keep things productive and balanced, even fertile, but also your ability to completely enjoy the process of this, to completely relax in this process of high productivity and manifestation. This is you understanding that the rewards you receive are not simply those that you produce, but it is the act, the process of creating these that is what gives you pleasure and joy. And this is a beautiful card of empowerment, balance, giving and receiving love, and understanding that you are in your power, you are in your flow at this time. The planet Venus is emphasized here, which is also important because Venus is about balance. It is about attraction and magnification and sort of push and pull. The balance of giving and receiving, coming in and going out. So this beautiful balance is what is key to your ability to show up for yourself and for others, for your community. In the 10th house, the house of your social identity, of the 2 of coins. And there is something you're contemplating. There is a decision you're having to make. And you are perhaps contemplating the way that you used to manage your productivity, manage your effort, manage your work, and you are consistent. But there's a place where you have received, where you have arrived right now, where you are in a flow. You're feeling that you have come to a place where you are able to pour out and express yourself in this beautiful, unending flow that you feel pulled to take advantage of. This means perhaps not doing things that you ordinarily would do, not pursuing the routines and responsibilities in the same way. I don't see you giving up your responsibilities or obligations, but there's a way in which you want to push things aside so that you can stay in this empowered flow, this divine creative expression that you're experiencing right now. It's like a surge of divine connection. And you're trying to balance that out in your life in a practical way. This is difficult for you because this is about more than the way that you do the mundane or practical things you do every day. This is about your identity. This is about your purpose. This is about something that you have built up and invested a lot in, and you are finally reaching a place of flow. And so you may be pulled by indecision around all the practical responsibilities that you feel you must show up for, and still be able to make time to be in the space of flow for yourself. In the first house, we have the 8 of coins. This is beautiful in as much as it is about your personal development. This really links beautifully, I think, with the Empress energy in that you are dedicated to devoting yourself to improving all aspects of your effort, your craft, your work, and your personal experience, so that you're doing everything you can to perfect your craft, to develop yourself, to take responsibility for the results, the reality you experience. You're doing all that you can to meet any opportunity for abundance with preparedness, with being the best you can be so that you can maximize this opportunity, this flow that you're experiencing, and you're trying to regulate, to manage in a way that allows you to express yourself fully, to be in your most authentic, most excellent self. So this is really additionally about the qualitative expression that you're experiencing. In the fourth house, the Two of Wands. So we have twos at the top and the bottom of your chart. Of course, the midheaven represents the highest star in the sky, the way you are seen. And the fourth house is the nadir. It's your roots, thinking of it like the tree, a tree of life, for instance. So the Two of Wands is again about the way that you are intending to move your flow. You want to move out of a place or from a place of your strengths, your expertise, what you do well, what inspires you, what you're passionate about. This is your talent, in a familiar environment to a place where you are facing the world, you're facing the unfamiliar, you're desiring how you can utilize this strength to move these strengths into the world, into an unfamiliar place, a larger sphere. And in order to do that, you must plan, you must choose. So there's a strong crossroads feeling here. And it's interesting because I don't feel like you're outside of your home, your domestic realm. You're in a fishbowl or you're in a public space necessarily. At least the Sagittarians I'm speaking to, this is about the way you're managing a skill that you have been developing and you have been intentionally growing as you balance your responsibilities to others. This is how you're strategizing, planning what comes, what can be, the potential for a future. In the seventh house, the house of your significant relationships, and that is not simply with people or groups of people, but also with your goals. The Knight of Swords is really about you challenging your assumptions about the way this could go, should go, or has gone. My sense is that you're throwing out this experience of history, this history where you may in some ways not feel as though it has gotten you the rewards or the opportunities that you are now hungry for, that you now feel prepared for, that you now understand are available to you. And part of the way that you are approaching that now is by freshening up your ideas, updating your ideas about what is needed in order to move forward. And that includes the way you manage your responsibilities, the sense that you owe certain things to others, and that you also owe yourself the space that you have created, the knowledge, the authentic motivation to move forward in something you already know you're good at. And you really want to give yourself the space to exercise that, to dream that into being. You're open up to new ideas, you're making contacts, you're gaining a lot more information about what that can mean for you now. I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards before I clarify from Starry Beginnings to start, and ask you if you're enjoying this video, if this is resonating for you, to like this reading, to share it with others who may find it useful, to comment below. I enjoy your comments, and to subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. So I have pulled Trust in Your New Path. All will work out for you. This is beautiful validation of the efforts, the decisions you're having to make, the kind of thought and reflection you're putting into the choices that you're making are with the intention of success, with the knowledge, I say, of your success, your eminent success. And this is really different from the way that you may have experienced this in the past. And I've also pulled from the Flora and Fauna of Africa the okapi, which is kind of a deer-looking, zebra-looking, beautiful animal. And the flower that goes along with the okapi is the lotus, the sacred lotus. And the key words are spiritual growth. Embrace all aspects of you. Your uniqueness is your power. Let your spirit guide you. Wow. I'm getting chills here. So I'm going to clarify the Eight of Coins in the first house with the Four of Earth in the second house and the Three of Fire in the third house. This is about what you have already established for yourself. So you have achieved a foundation that is making this possible. This is important for you to acknowledge. This is the value that you are bringing to yourself. You've done the work. You have the education. You have the experience in order to build on this into your deeper abundance, to reach your potential. And as a result of that, you are clearly intentional around and passionate around the way that you are building up and planning this effort moving forward. The Three of Fire follows the Two of Wands in that, as you've already contemplated, are thinking about the way that you want to distribute, share your knowledge, your strengths, your products with the world. You are creating a plan. You are putting the elements in place. You're making the contacts. You're gaining the information. You're looking at those or ways that success has been achieved in your arena. And you're utilizing all of that information in order to concretize this plan, to put flesh on this bones. The threes here are mirrored as the twos were mirrored. So this is about creating, manifesting your passion. And in this case, it is very much about your creative expression, in whatever way that manifests in your life. This is about who you are and how you make that tangible in the world for others to see, how you put that on display. The Two of Wands in the fourth house is clarified by the Seven of Fire in the fifth house and the Transformation card or the Death card in the sixth house. This kind of is going back again to the way in which you are understanding or throwing out your past. And when I said throwing out, I didn't say releasing, surrendering to a way that you expect and understand that you have conformed in the past to what is expected of you, how you may have categorized your activities so that you allowed this much time for others and this much time for you. That has changed. You are consciously releasing beliefs and ideas about the way that you should work towards the things that are important to you, the ways that you should fulfill your responsibilities. you're releasing that. You're also really liberating yourself in terms of how you are understanding and setting up boundaries around your area of activity, how you're saying no to others, how you are allowing yourself to be clear about what it is that is your strength. And in that way, you're standing up for yourself, you're defending your turf, you are not allowing others who have formerly encroached upon your space regularly with the expectation that it would always be okay. You would always make space for them. And you have, and you sometimes do. But this is an area of real strength for you, saying no to others who expect you to drop everything and attend to their needs. This has been a huge time suck for you. And I won't just say it's a time suck because it sounds as though others are intentionally ripping you off. And that's not the case at all. You're simply releasing the idea that you are obligated to provide for others in ways that they do not provide for you. And releasing that idea, allowing yourself to focus and be intentional about the things that you are good at, the things that you want to do, your own reality that you are dreaming, is really allowing you a tremendous new rebirth. This rebirth cannot occur unless you are willing to release those old habits and routines that have limited you, and that you're aware have limited you, and they still plague you to this day. As much as you have grown, and you are growing phenomenally, you are still riddled with this sense of obligation to others, responsibility to others, that is not necessarily reciprocal. The Knight of Swords in the 7th house is clarified by the Four of Waters in the 8th house and the Chariot card in the 9th house. This is beautiful. This is such a positive confirmation. So again, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s. This is in your resources, your values, and the values and resources you share with others. You have been practicing, and for you, this is really hard. Practicing how to move towards the things that make you feel better, moving towards the things that support you, that recognize you, that appreciate you. This is a big learning curve, but this is something that you have achieved, something you are accomplishing. This is important because your sense of joy and pleasure often comes from the way that you have been able to empower others, encourage others, cheerlead others on at the expense of your own efforts, of your own desires. This idea of coming from your strengths, not needing to solve the problems of others, not needing to put out all the fires or resolve conflicts, all the conflicts in your own space, in your own world, is really helping you to focus with laser focus on that which you want to achieve. Certainly for a long time, your spiritual development has been intimately tied up with your ability to find the sweet spot of your expression, to release your expression, to give you the space to know what you want. Again, something that may be hard, someone who is so able to encourage others, to cheer others on, to let others know what they're doing right. This is one of the things that makes you a phenomenal teacher, is that you focus on what's good. And this is so empowering to others. It's so affirming for others. But learning to create the space for yourself, to focus on creating that space where you can focus solely on what your goals are, is absolutely magic for you right now. The Two of Coins in the 10th house is clarified by the Four of Fire, another 4 in the 11th house, and the King of Water in the 12th house. You have, it's interesting that I mentioned teaching, because you have spiritually committed to the principle of recognizing that your challenges, your hardships, your suffering have provided you with gifts, with lessons, with benefits. They have strengthened you. They've taught you about yourself. And they've allowed you to commit to leveraging that ability into the ongoing, lifelong commitment to learning, to growing, to expanding. In that way, what you want for yourself is what you want for others. And you're understanding now that the way to share that, the way to teach that, is by engaging that, by exemplifying that principle, understanding that you're in a place where you can utilize every hardship you've undergone and the lessons you've learned in order to achieve and celebrate that ability to constantly be learning, and as you learn, to constantly grow. I don't know if I've said this in this reading, but I believe to one of the fire signs I said, learning is not easy. And it is a disservice that we do often in making it appear so. It doesn't mean it's not enjoyable, it's not fun. I was a student that loved learning, but it wasn't because it was easy. It was because the rewards were so phenomenal. And this is something that you are now owning. The real work it takes, the real ability to be disciplined and devoted and to work hard and finish all your lessons and examine something, be thoughtful in your responses about what it is you experienced and what it is you gained from that, that is the cause for celebration. The King of Water is really about the incredible maturity you've experienced through all of your lessons, through all of the difficulties that you've overcome. This is where your vulnerability is celebrated as your strength. For many of you that may have the sense, and so often during the winter months, this is in part your season to Sagittarius, in preparation for the return of the light. We're moving inside, we're exploring the crystallization, the essence of what we've experienced. And this can make one internal, sometimes remorseful, sad, or simply exhausted. But you're really using this time to contemplate and prepare for this creative passion that is overwhelming and overflowing your life, utilizing it to pursue the things that you want, rather than being pulled by obligations that are may or may not be necessary for you. It is important that we show love, we show compassion, we offer our guidance to others. But in some ways, the best guidance is the example of your life. I'm going to finish up this reading, Sagittarius, with a language of flowers. And I have pulled the Bird of Paradise, and the key word is self-acceptance. You are so much more. I love this. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for a beautiful message. Until next time, namaste.